Hi guys, welcome back to the Big Sew Along. I'm Ginny, and as always, I thank you very much for choosing to spend a little time with me. Now, you guys may be a little confused because the title of this video is More Measurements. And last week, I said I was going to be talking about working with Tina Gibbons patterns. So, when I set up to do my Tina Gibbons pattern, I was working on this I'm wearing today. This is a Tina Gibbons Clara pattern, and I'll talk to you more about that at the end of the video. But anyways, when I set up to do this video, I realized that if I talk to you about all the measurements that I use, and there aren't a lot, so don't panic. I just thought if I talked about that at the same time as I was talking about the patterns, that it would be a little bit overwhelming. So I thought I would just split it into two videos. So this week, I'm going to talk to you about the measurements that we need, and then next week, I'm going to talk about using those to alter our Tina Gibbons patterns to make them look the way we want. Or to check our patterns, to make sure that whatever you're making with a Tina Gibbons pattern, or really any pattern that is oversized, not fitted, you can do this same method for. So we're going to do a little experiment today, a little exercise. It's an exercise. And I'll show you in just a minute, but before I get there, I want to say that I'm going to show you how I take these measurements. But these are specifically for non-fitted garments. If you are looking to make garments that are fitted and tailored, you're going to need a lot more measurements, and you're also going to need them to be much more accurate. This is going to get us where we need to be. So for this exercise, you're going to need a few things. You're going to need your smartphone with a camera on it. For this, I don't have a tripod or anything like that for my iPhone. I just stick it against a bookcase so that it's more or less flat. And I reverse the camera so that it's looking at me so I can see in the viewer what I look like. And then I set the timer for 10 seconds and I just take a bunch of pictures all at once. The other things you're going to need are a tape measure, some cellophane tape, clear tape like that, some sort of colored tape. I use this half-inch wide artist's tape, but you can use masking tape. You just don't want it to be too wide. If you're using 1-inch wide tape or like 3-inch wide duct tape, just cut it into narrower strips, okay? That'll make your measurements a little more accurate anyway. You're also going to need something like some sort of a weight. I used a butter knife. In addition, you're going to need a paper and something to write with, and you're going to need one of these, a Croquis. Mine looks like this. Mine is from, I can't remember what it's called. I did a video on it once and I can't remember. Anyways, it doesn't matter. You can just Google free Croquis, spelled C-R-O-Q-U-I-S, and something like this will pop up. You can actually even just use a stick figure. What we need on this is a head, a body. We need to know where your bust, your waist, your hips are, and that should really do the trick. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my camera, and I put on a pair of leggings and a close-fitting tank top. You can do the same thing. You can use a fitted t-shirt. You can also do this in your underpants if you want. I just thought I would spare you guys the horror of seeing me in my undergarments. So the first thing I did is I stand in front of my camera, and I place the end of my tape measure, the 0 mark, at the center of my chest, right here. And I pull it straight out to the side, and I take a picture. Now, if I blow that picture up, I can see that my shoulder, the edge of my shoulder, where my arm is about 8 inches from the center of my body. And because you can kind of see my bra strap in this picture, you can also see that the edge of my bra is at about 5 inches. Hang on one second. I forgot I had the washing machine on. Okay, this is the method we're going to use for most of these. We're going to take a picture, then we're going to blow it up and see what our measurements are. So the center of my body to the outside edge of my bra strap is about 5 inches. That means the inside of my bra strap is about 4 inches. That's a really important measurement to have. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some tape on my body, and I'm going to just pick some specific points. The first one is my underarm, which is right here. For this, I just put the tape at the top of my bra band. Now, if you have a bra band that goes really low, don't do that. Go close to your armpit. It doesn't have to be way up here in your armpit, just at the bottom of your armpit. The next one is at the right across the center bust. I have one at my true waist. I have one at my high hip, one at my low hip, which is really pretty much even with my crotch. And then I have one about mid-thigh, a little higher than mid-thigh. While I'm here, I am going to also move a piece of tape to the top of my shoulder. One right about where I want a short sleeve to hit. For me, that's about mid-bicep. I put one right at my elbow, one just below my elbow, and then one right at my wrist. This is a little trickier to do because when you're holding the tape measure like this, it kind of twists a little bit, but don't worry about it. You'll be able to get close enough on this. So take that picture. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to tape our bottom end, the 0 end of our tape measure. We're going to tape that with our clear tape to our weight. And you're going to tape it edge to edge like this. And I use clear tape so that if it covers your tape measure at all, you'll still be able to see your measurements. So it's taped together like this, right up against the edge. That way when I lay it down on the floor, that 0 is right at the floor. Okay? Okay. So then we're going to put that weight on the floor. We're going to move our tape so that we have, I think I left one at my true waist, and then I also left the one at like mid-thigh. I added another one above my knee, one below my knee, one at mid-calf, one right at the top of my ankle, and then I have one a couple of inches above that because I know that that's where I like a lot of pants to end for me. I like them to be cropped about 2 inches above my ankle, so I put one there. Then I'm standing sideways towards the camera, and the reason I'm standing sideways is because you want that tape measure to be sitting on the floor, but you want it to go over your hip curve, okay? Not tight. It doesn't have to be tight, and you don't have to be really close to the tape measure. You just want, like I said, these are like good enough measurements. Okay, I hope that's clear for now. I'm going to go take a quick break here and go to my cutting table and show you how I mark these all out on my Croquis. Okay, I hope you guys can see this. This is my Croquis here, and I am going to open up my phone. I'm going to go to my photos, and we are going to look for our very first photo, which is this one. And it looks like you're going to have a glare there. Gosh, I hope that's not too bad. Okay, so anyways, I can see that this measurement from the center to my shoulder is about 9 inches. And to my bra strap, I'm going to put that right here. That's about 4.5. Now I'm just going to go to my next photo. Which is my arms. And I can see my bicep is at about 7.5. My elbow is pretty much right at 12.5. And below my elbow, right about here, that looks like it's about 16. And my wrist, right here, is 22. Okay, next photograph. So on this, I'm just going to start here. my underarm right here. Oops. How are we going to do that? Underarm. We're just going to put it under here. Is 7.5. My bust is 9.5. Okay, so my waist, which is right here, is at 13. My high hip is at 17. My low hip is at 22. And my mid thigh is about 28. Okay, now for the other measurements, remember we turned our tape measure upside down. So I can see from my waist to the floor is 40 inches. And let's see, we have a tape measure, a tape right here at mid thigh, and we have one at the top of the knee, the bottom of the knee, the mid calf, the top of the ankle, or 2 inches above the ankle, and then at the very top of the ankle. Okay, so my tape measure it's 40 inches from here to the floor. When I look at my picture, from the floor to this bottom measurement, it's 5 inches. So 40 minus 5 is going to be 35 inches to here. This one is about 8.5 inches. So 40 minus 8.5 equals, that's going to be 31.5. The next one is this one right below the knee. Looks like it's 11.5. So 40 minus 11.5, because I can't do math, you guys. $40 minus 11.5 is 28.5. So we're just going to keep doing that all the way up. We just have 3 more. And then we'll have all the measurements we need. I am assuming that you already know what your full bust measurement is, what your waist measurement is, and what your hip measurement is. You should also know what your bicep circumference is. If you don't know what those are, go ahead and take your tape measure and just measure those. Those are easy to do by yourself. And add those to one of your 2 charts. Okay guys, so now we have all of our measurements that we need to get started on our Tina Gibbons patterns. You can see there aren't a lot of them, and all you have to do is do this exercise once and keep these your measurements handy for when you're working on these or any other patterns. Now, what was I going to tell you about this top? All I really wanted to tell you was this, the one I worked on this week, this Clara top. This is from an older Tina Gibbons pattern, and I'll show you a picture of the pattern photograph here. The fabric that I used for this is a, I think it's a rayon challis I got from Emma One Sock a while back, and I really love it. It's very light and flowy. It's too cold to be wearing this right now, but I'll put a sweater over it. It'll be fine. I am wearing this with the So Liberated Our Night pants, and this pattern was gifted to me from Christine, gosh, maybe a year ago, and I finally made it up in this. This is a silk blend noil from, I believe this was from Blackbird Fabrics, and I bought it a while ago, probably last summer. I really like this pattern, however, and I also really like this fabric. I don't like this fabric for pants, and I wouldn't use it again for pants. You can see in these pictures, it is really, really wrinkly, and it doesn't matter what I do, it is always like that. Now, wrinkles for the most part don't bother me. I just don't like the way they look in this particular pant. I mean, it's okay. I wear it under a tunic, so it's fine. These pants also, I made a size 12 in these, and next time I make these, I'm just going to make them in a size 14 because I feel like they're cutting me a little in the back side. I could just make a little extra room in the back in the seat, but I think I would be fine in a size up And it's a loose pant, so I don't really care if it's a little bit bigger. So next time I'll just make these in a size 14, and I will also probably just make them in like a solid linen instead of something like this. Yeah, I like this fabric. I think it would just be better maybe for a dress or a top, something like that. I don't know. Okay, that is it for me this week, you guys. Now next week we will be talking about our Tina Gibbons patterns. We are going to use a couple of patterns. I don't know if I said this. The Clara pattern that I used to make this is a pretty old Tina Gibbons pattern. I, as a general rule, have a harder time with the older patterns than I do with the newer ones. Next week, we are going to be working on a couple of newer ones because I've never made them before, and I want to try my method with you guys on something I've never done before to make sure that it actually works. So I hope you guys will all join me for that next week, and until then, I wish you all happy sewing.